Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Top 5 Marvel Champions video. And this is my Top 5 heroes. Direct contrast to last week when I talked about my least favorite. This is my most favorite. Hopefully this doesn't go on too long because once I start singing the praises of these heroes, I might not stop. But this is, of course, my opinion. I want to hear your opinions. I want to know what is your favorite hero, what character really makes you love Marvel Champions, because that's what, at the end of the day, that's what we all do. We all love Marvel Champions. So, hopefully you like this video. If you do, give it a like, subscribe, share this video, because I want to hear as many people's favorite heroes as possible. We won't skip any more beats. Let's talk about my favorite heroes in Marvel Champions. All right, my number 5 is probably going to be a little controversial. I actually happen to really love Deadpool. And the funny part is I think that it's weird because I think that a lot of people assume, okay, there's two assumptions that come with the Deadpool pack. One, when you say you're playing the pool aspect, people assume that you're playing Deadpool, and that's not the case. I think that the pool aspect is weaker. Weaker is maybe not the right way to put it. The drive to play the pool aspect, I think, is weaker than other aspects because I think that the card pool is just not developed enough for it to maybe have the same appeal that aggression or protection or leadership or justice have. The other thing is that I think that when you say you're playing Deadpool, people assume you're also playing the pool aspect. Like the two are so interlinked that people sort of half assume that you're playing the two together, and that's not the case. I love Deadpool in leadership. I've made that very clear over the course of the last year. But I think just in general, like there is a time and place, and there's a reason why he's number 5. There's a time and place for Deadpool. But when I want to play a game where I sort of want to just rush through a little bit, Deadpool against the Horsemen of Apocalypse, real fun, because he can take out like an entire stage of a horseman like nothing. But additionally, being able to kind of like play on the edge, work on that knife's edge, you might fail, you might succeed. It's just so much fun. And when the time comes for that, when you want to play that sort of game, Deadpool is my hero for that. I will say that I normally top off at, I get the first 2 acceleration tokens down. I realize that can be very dangerous, but you play the card It Ain't Over, where you can bump up the amount of maximum threat on the main scheme. Like you get that out and suddenly, you bump up maybe 2 acceleration tokens, and that turns on enough of his stuff. We're going to get to the 3rd acceleration token at some point. And if Cable's in play, then all the more reason why we probably do want to get to the 3rd acceleration token, because at that point he can very much keep the main scheme in check. That's why I love that's why I love Deadpool in Sidekick, because it can be very powerful. But overall, he is an acquired taste, and there is a time and place for him. But overall, I just love how he can just throw himself. He can, the maximum effort, a huge chunk of a villain's health away, really open up the game for the rest of the table if you're playing multiplayer. I think in multiplayer, that's where he's the most fun. You do need to play with a team that understands that you are going to be pushing the gas a little bit to progress us into the later stages of the game, both in the level of threat that's being applied and the amount of damage that's being dealt. And he can make very quick games, but overall, I think that he is just far more fun than I think some people look at him at. And I also think that stigma has kind of fallen off. He's been around for a year now. He's not the new kid on the block. People are not kind of like hate playing him. He's not the topic of a lot of ire, but I think overall I love his design, and I'm so happy he's in the game. Number 4 is Ant-Man. And this is one that I feel like probably could have been in my top 2 a year ago. And he's just sort of slipped down a little bit, just as other heroes have kind of shuffled around. But I really like his ability to sort of play to what the table needs. He can be good for thwarting. He can be good for damage. He can get in these big, like the giant stomp ability or whatever, where he can suddenly just come down and deal a bunch of damage. He kind of has his own version of Dive Bomb, where he just needs to be in giant form. The Army of Ants, being able to just sort of like get some damage in, even against an enemy that, even if you are stunned, you can still get the damage in. You can break it tough like that. And No, I had Wasp first. So he was not my introduction to a three-form hero, but I do think that he is my favorite execution of a three-form hero. Wasp has a lot of upside. Angel, I will definitely sing his praises in certain contexts, but I think Ant-Man, I love him in aggression. I love him in protection. Protection is just stellar for him. He is one of my heroes that I definitely, when I want to play protection, he is on my short list of heroes to grab. And I don't know, I just feel like he has the size change card, so he can switch between forms really easily. And yeah, just great time. Love it. And yeah, he is my number 4 favorite hero. Number 3, coming in a little controversial, and probably people did not see this coming. My number 3 is actually Thor. Thor is a character that I definitely got into this game for. The X-Men were very appealing, but Thor was even more appealing. And I love how Thor works. I think that there are some things that I kind of wish I could tweak. He's really good at card draw by using minions, but I do feel like that in certain scenarios, that falls off. If there's not a lot of minions for him to be summoning into play, he is just sort of a lead ball. And I do think that his hammer could be redesigned in a way. I think that hammer throw makes sense, that it returns back to your hand, and unfortunately that means that the hammer needs to cost something, because returning it to your hand only for you to play it back out for 0 wouldn't mean anything. So there's got to be that tension there. Every hero has cards they don't like. I don't like for Asgard, but I feel like as the game has progressed and I've gotten deeper into it, I've grown more appreciation for other heroes. But Thor is just, he is my bruiser. He is the hero that I could put into any aspect. I love him in every aspect, which is something that I can't say about every other hero on this list. I could play Thor in just about any aspect and be fine with it. Justice is great. Aggression is stellar. Leadership is cool. Protection is his weakest aspect, because I actually do think that there is a pool Thor deck that I have been trying out. Hasn't really sparked for me, but I could see how it could beat out Protection. Just because I feel like the Protection cards either don't synergize with him because they want you to do perfect defense, or they are hard knocks, which is just expensive enough to not really work with Thor very well. And Thor's like, I can be doing other things instead of hard knocks. Like, if the tough status is nice, but I can be doing more than that. I can overkill. And so he is a great hero that I love, and that I just I want to play him as much as possible. And there's tension when I don't get to shuffle him up to bring him to a game night. I feel that in my soul too, because I'm like, oh, I wish I had Thor. Because I know the other thing is that nobody else picks Thor, so it's always an open hero that I can play, and I both love and hate that. I wish there was more respect for him, and quite honestly, I do think that the Magneto deck did add things. Squared Off did add things to him that I think really ignited him and brought him into like one of the most improved heroes of 2024. On to my number 2. And I've sung the praises of this character before, so there's probably people that have seen enough of my videos that would know this, but Domino is my number 2. I love Domino. A lot of people jumped onto Cable during the Next Evolution box, and I jumped onto Domino. I love her pistols. I love the way that she plays. I love that she bends probability in a way that you can sit there, set at the top of your deck, hit a jackpot, deal 3 damage with your gun, deal 3 damage with Diamondback or what have you. And the probability field, which is just like not, I think was a mistake to some degree, and being able to like use her defense. I don't know if I have had much more fun with Marvel Champions than the games I've played with Domino. And it's unfortunate that I've never actually had a video. I mean, I obviously had my new player guide with Domino, but I haven't actually had a gameplay video with Domino just because there hasn't been the time. But I just love Domino, and she is so much fun. And any hate she ever got, I never understood, because there's also this part where people are like, oh, I just don't like her top deck. Like, she's too consistent. It's like, but that's her power. Her power is to bend probability to be lucky. And so by an extent of that means that she's going to be able to setting up the top of her deck, being able to take cards back when she's in her other form. That's all like part of her. Like, that's what she's supposed to do. And so, yeah, I love her, and I love in multiplayer, being able to think through my turn, when it gets past me, I just know that I'm going to do this, that. I'm going to assume that whatever is the second card on top of my deck is going to be beneficial. And yeah, you just get to play this really interesting game where you can take these wild swings, and sometimes you do the math and you're off on the math because unfortunately probability didn't bend in the way you wanted. But at the same time, that's Marvel Champions. That's fun, and I love it. And on to my number one, another character that actually I have not had the chance to sing this character's praises, so this segment might go on a little bit longer than even the past heroes. I love Scarlet Witch. She is so great. I love that she messes with the encounter deck. I think this is my feelings about Deadpool kind of spread over to my feelings about Scarlet Witch. You're going to see more acceleration tokens because of the Scarlet Witch. But luckily, Scarlet Witch is powerful enough that doesn't matter. She is just going to throw 8 damage here. She's going to do this. She's going to do that. She's going to bump up, even her Nemesis kit, the side scheme that comes with it bumps up the amount of boost icons that are counted. I love that because I want more boost icons, because I want to use Hexbolt to do this. I want to do that. I want to use the molecular decay, whatever. It's funny. I love these characters. Sometimes I can't remember the name of the cards. But either way, I love Scarlet Witch. I love the theming. I love the way their cards work. I love that she has 4 copies of Hexbolt. Amazingly, the only card I really don't love is Agatha Harkness, or maybe even Quicksilver. Those 2 cards I just don't appreciate enough. And it might just come down to the fact that they're not giving me more Scarlet Witch. They're just sort of there. That is my top 5 favorite heroes. I want to know your favorite heroes. Put them in the comments. If you got this far, please like, subscribe, share the video. I want this to get out to as many people as possible. But until next time, thank you so much for your time and have a great day.